Hello, 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 and welcome to day 6 of 20 Days of Calm with Tiffany. My goodness, can you believe it's already day 6? And some of us have still not lost our calm. But for some of us that have already lost our calm, I get it. Like, I completely understand. Like I used to say, what you do after you've made a mistake, that is what really counts. That's what really shows what is in your heart. Are you willing to make amends? How do you feel after you made the mistake? Did you make a resolution to do better next time? That is what makes you a human being. We are all flawed human beings. We make mistakes. But what we do after, that is what really counts. So if you have lost your calm during this challenge, take a deep breath. You're doing well regardless. The fact that you're even here and you made up your mind to even participate in this challenge already shows that you are doing extremely beautifully well. So welcome. More bubbly today. Yesterday was a lot, like things shook me, but I remained firm. So today we're going to be talking about how to identify your triggers and why is there a trigger to start with. So this video is going to be in 2 parts. It's going to be for day 6 and day 7. So sit back, relax, because now we are getting deeper. Now we're going in deep. So now you're about to really understand why you get upset the way you do. And it's some deep work, guys, but I know you guys are ready. That's why you're connecting. That's why you're tuning into me on YouTube every single day for these 20 days of calm. So yeah, let's get started. Firstly, before we begin, let's take a breathing exercise. Breathe in and out. In and out. Now breathe in for 4 seconds, hold, and out for 6 seconds. Let's go. Hold, out. Now class is in session. How do you identify your triggers? Now, what are triggers to even start with? Triggers are those things that when someone says to you, your brain goes from 1 to 100 immediately. There are things that when someone does to you, even when others tell you, but this thing is small, now why are you reacting like this? To them, it's small. But to you, it is a big deal. I'll use myself as an example. Now, this is a very interesting one. Well, growing up, I used to be a very timid child and I had a lot of insecurities as a young girl. I was very slim. I used to be very thin. Like, slim is another statement. I was very skinny. Maybe one of these days I'll show you my old picture, but for now, no. Or maybe for those who will see this challenge through, they'll get to see that side of me. Anyway, I used to be very skinny, so it was a major insecurity for me. And you know how Nigerians can be really cruel to people who are a certain weight. They look at you and you say, you will soon disappear. Oh. See this one, you know they chop. You better go and eat. Breeze will just carry you. You know, they make the funniest jokes. And to them, it's a joke. But to me, it was an insecurity I was dealing with. So I wasn't always happy about it. I tried everything. I tried to use different medications to just gain weight. It did not work. I just wanted to have a little weight. So people can stop calling me skinny because of my weight. Even though I was not particularly young, I was already an adult. But I felt like people didn't really give me the respect I deserved because of my weight. So where I'll be working with someone that is even younger than me, because I am slim, they would say this girl. Then to the person they can say, "Where done ma?" And I always felt like, why were people so disrespectful to me? So my trigger was disrespect. So the moment I sense that you are disrespecting me, I go off. And even if it's just something that is very little to them, even if the person was making a joke, but the moment I sense a disrespect, it will trigger my insecurities of I'm slim, I'm thin. It is because of the way I look. That is why they are treating me like this. So anything you do that seemingly looks like disrespect to me, I would go off. So my trigger was disrespect. That's not really a major trigger for me anymore, because I have now dug deep to find out, okay, my trigger is disrespect. Why was there a trigger there? It was because of your insecurity as a child, growing up, thin, you didn't used to eat, people used to make fun of you. So it was a problem. So, are you seeing where this problem came from, guys? But it took a lot of digging. It took a lot of unpacking. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of work on my inner child to be able to say, okay, anything that seemed like, or anything that seems or sound like disrespect triggers me because of this and this and this and this. Now, how do I start healing my inner wounds? How do I start? I am not that girl anymore. I've added some weight. Even if I hadn't added some weight, what people say shouldn't trigger me so much. So I needed to heal from that insecurity of that thin girl, so that even when people say something, I can give them grace. I can show them empathy. I can understand from their perspective. So that is what this day 6 and day 7 is going to be about. And you and I are going to be, so you're going to be sending me a lot of messages. I need you to identify your triggers. What is that one thing that somebody says? Now, another person's one can be, I don't like being taken for granted. Why? Because when they were growing up, their parents never paid attention to them. There was a lot of neglect, or maybe they are middle child and there was a lot of neglect going on. So they've always felt invisible. They've always felt like they have to earn the love of their parents. They've always felt like they have to earn people's love. They've always felt like they have to become the comedian of their family to be recognized. A lot of you became funny today because you wanted to be seen. That was the way you could get people's attention, because you were not giving the attention that you deserved. So, some of these people, their triggers might be, I do not like to be taken for granted. Now, for some people, their triggers might be, like I said, neglect. And the moment a friend or your boyfriend neglects you, or your girlfriend neglects you, you feel so alone and you get so angry, because growing up, you were not paid attention to. So there is still a raw wound there. Another person says, I shut down when people lied to me. Now, it is not just about the lie, it is what the lie represents. Now, I have a friend who would get really upset when people lie to her. Now, it wasn't really about the lie, it was what the lie represents. And that was because growing up for her dad used to lie a lot to their mom. He broke their family. So anything that remotely stands close to lying aggravates her. So I'm going to stop there for today, but we're going to have the same assessment today and tomorrow. And which is, I want you to flood my Instagram. I want you to send me messages on what you think your triggers are and why you think those triggers are there to start with. If you can't, if you are still struggling with understanding how to identify your triggers, don't worry. At the end of the challenge, you are one of the people that I'm going to be working with personally. But it makes it even better if you can actually articulate why you think your triggers are there, what your triggers are, and why you think they're there. So from today and tomorrow, that is what our assessment is going to be. You're going to be sending me why your triggers are there, what your triggers are. I've given you a lot of examples. So if you still can't find yourself in any of the examples, yours might be unique and we're all different, like I said. So it's okay. I'll see you in it. Oh, wait, we have not taken our affirmation. How? Please let's take our affirmation before we go. I am allowed to be triggered, and I am ready to understand why. I am allowed to be triggered, and I am ready to understand why. So yeah, we've come to the end of class. Remember our assessment, send me, flood my Instagram with your triggers, identifying your triggers and why you think those triggers are there to start with. And I'll see you in tomorrow's class. So let's keep growing and learning together. Bye.